Hello again, Tiger friends. It's Meredith with Tiger Lily Resources, and welcome back to another episode, story time of TigerTales. Today, I'm going to continue the story background of the beginning of Scarlet Line and the House of Rahab, and I really had to hone in on this one because there is just a lot to share, and I want to keep it as concise as possible to get us up to speed, right? So we'd started doing outreach. And I had I'm gonna share a little connection of our first times of doing outreach, and we'll see where it goes from there. So I had connected with a local smaller area jurisdiction to talk to them about their efforts for human trafficking. And there was no mistake that I got partnered up with Hazelwood Police Department, as they were one of the ones in St. Louis County that were really active in addressing the issue. So I had started a conversation with, they had actually had a social worker on staff, and they were one of the only jurisdictions that did have a social worker on staff. Now, mind you, she had originally been doing domestic violence issues, but it was really just from her watching what the night crew basically was doing. She knew that she needed to do something for girls that they were coming in contact with. So it was kind of it was absolutely divine intervention, we'll say, that she and I connected the way that we did. And we had an initial meeting, and she was going to set up a follow-up meeting with the chief and the sergeant. And she called me a couple days after we had met, and I was guessing that it was to set up the time to meet. And she was like, "Hey, are you busy?" And I was like, "No, I just got into my car. What's going on?" She's like, "Well, can you come? We have a girl." And I was like, "Yeah, I will be there," right? Because that just popped out of my mouth. And I'm like, I get off the phone with her, and immediately the enemy was just like, "Well, you're not ready. You don't have anything. You have no documentation. You've got no thing." Because we wanted to bring these little like pouches, I guess, for the girls of just like little toiletries and things that could be useful right then, just as like a little, hey, we're good people kind of introduction thing. I didn't have that. So, but I did have a little thrift store. So I went back to the store and I grabbed a little purse and I just threw things in, like hand sanitizer and a little bracelet and just little things that were cute trinket things, right? And I get in the car and I head over, and I am just I'm praying. I'm like, "Jesus, all right, Holy Spirit, I don't know what I'm doing going." And I'm kind of panic mode. And I heard in my spirit again. Oh, I love when he talks to me. I love that I hear him. But I heard in my spirit so clearly, "Will you go get my baby?" Oh, yes, I'm going. Right? So that was like fire under my butt. So I get there, and I meet with Heather. She was the social worker that was there. And from the front door to the room that I was meeting her in was really, really close. And she was like, "Okay, so let me brief you really quick on what's going on," right? So I am, in my mind, I kind of have like a preconceived thought of who I was meeting. I was picturing like a 20-something-year-old, probably really strung out and hungry and tired and angry. And, she's at the police department, so probably not in the best of moods. So I'm kind of prepping myself for that. And she was like, "Okay, she's 16 years old." And I'm like, "Oh God." Like, I'm not, like, I need you. Holy Spirit, I need you. I need you to be here with me with these words, right? And everything about that day, about the meeting, about how it went, was absolutely coordinated by him. No other explanation around it. So much to the fact of, and I'll just give this little side note of why I know that. Normally on days that I would work at it was like a little boutique-y thrift store. I didn't dress down, I didn't dress up, but I dressed cute for the day, right? And that day I happened to have on jeans, bright orange tennis shoes, a long sleeve hoodie shirt underneath of a t-shirt that says "I rock with Jesus," and my hair was in a ponytail. I never would dress like that going into whatever. So when I walked in the door and I met her, I knew that was on purpose. I was so not a threat to her. So it was incredible. So long of that story short, she is home. She's been home. We got her some help pretty much right away. And she's back home with family. She graduated high school. Like it's good. So, time goes by and I was serving the girls, like I said, either in my house or in hotel rooms. And, one afternoon, I'm going to fast forward a lot. But one afternoon, in June 2019, I'm sitting in my sunroom after church, minding my own business, having a lazy day, flipping through my phone, Facebook, whatever. And I hear in my spirit, look for a house. And I was like, what? That doesn't even make any sense. Now, at that time, we had just moved. We had our drop-in center. Oh, I have to go backwards. I should tell that story. That's an important story. I'll catch it up. I'll pop back to it. Anyway, we had a drop-in center in North City. And there's a huge reason why we were even there in the first place. Because North City, St. Louis is the most dangerous area, one of the most dangerous areas, definitely in St. Louis, and one of the most dangerous in the country. And we were called down there helping a family try to locate their adult daughter who had gone missing, and she was found down in the area on the street prostituting. And the detectives and law enforcement had come across her and asked if she needed help. And because of her age, she wasn't a minor, she said she was fine. And so law enforcement couldn't do anything else because as an adult, they can't just whisk you away. You have to say so. So the detective was like, well, if you want to keep looking for her, you can. And I was like, well, absolutely. I know she doesn't want to be down there. I know her family wants her home. She had a little girl, has a little girl. So we went down and looked for her. And in that time of us being in North City, I just saw so many girls out on the street. Now, again, North City is not an area that you accidentally, oh, I made a wrong turn and here I am. No, you like intentionally have to go there. And I saw so many girls out on the street, homeless, prostituting, addicted, and I was forever wrecked. I couldn't not go back down there for all of those, my sisters, you know? So we had a drop-in center that we had opened up, and I think it was like 2018. Yeah, November of 2018. And we were doing weekly lunches for the girls in the area, ladies' lunch with love. And they would come in and we would have a feast. It was a banquet. It was awesome. And we would just love on them. We had in the lower room, it was just girl time. We would eat, we would hang out and talk. It was a safe space for them to come and get away for a couple of hours, get refreshed, get a couple little things like nice fuzzy socks and whatever to take out with them when they went. Then we graduated. We moved upstairs to the entire upstairs floor. We had 6 rooms, and there we would host the lunches, but we extended the time. We met for 4 hours, and we would offer counseling. They could take hot showers. We had a boutique for them. If they spent the whole time with us, they would go shopping at the end and get, clothes for the couple days or week, whatever, come back, because their clothes were totally disposable. They were homeless. They didn't wash clothes. They threw them away when they were too dirty. So we would replenish that. So anyway, we were just in the process of moving upstairs into the drop-in center. Massive cleanup, redo, make it pretty. Oh my gosh, up to my eyeballs and gross. And then we also had just recently acquired the RV. And she will make an awesome presence in a little bit longer, but we're not there yet. So we had the RV. So I had these 2 projects going, and I hear look for a house. That doesn't, okay, I will look for a house, but I'm not ready to look for a house. So I popped on Facebook Marketplace and I put homes for sale near me. And the first house that popped up thumbnail was the house I'm sitting in right now. It was a 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom, 2 kitchen, 2 living room, 2 laundry, 2 decks, big backyard. Oh my gosh. And I was like, what is wrong with this house? And it only had the picture of the exterior. So, drove by the house. I grabbed Vincent and I was like, hey, we are going to take a little drive by this house. I called the owner actually. And I was like, hey, just checking to see if this is still available. And he was like, yeah, actually I just listed it last night. And it was the only place he listed it. It was for sale by owner. And I was like, well, if it's okay, I'd like to look at it. Like, why do I want to look at this house? So he was like, yeah, let me talk to my wife. She does, if we can do it tomorrow because she wants to clean up a little bit. Yeah, no problem. I get it. It's life, right? I was like, but if it's okay, can I take a drive by and look at the outside of it? And if it's in an area that I don't really feel so great about, then I won't bother you to look inside. And he's like, yeah, sure, that's fine. So he gives me the address and I drive by with Vince. And yeah, we drove by. It was the nicest house on the street, and I was like, man, this is actually pretty okay. And we drive past the house to go to the end to turn around, and my son was like, Mom, this is totally our house. I was like, oh yeah, why do you say that? And he's like, did you see the sign? Well, our next door neighbor, they have a sign in the front yard that says, he who calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. And he was like, did you see the sign? That's our house, Mom. I was like, wow, okay. So I'm going to wrap this up because I'm just over the 10-minute mark. So we went forward with the purchase of the house. I had no business, in my mind. Tiger Lily had no business buying a house because we were fresh, new in the area since 2016. That didn't, like, that year doesn't count, your first startup year. 2017, 18, we didn't really pull in a lot of money those 2 years because we were just starting up. So in my mind, I had no business buying a house. So we put the offer on the house in June, and oh, that's Lily. She sees the cat outside. So that means I'm going to wrap up soon. Anyway, we put the offer on the house in June, and we closed on the house at the end of August. And we had the house of Rahab. So I will get to the next story of our first participant here at the house, which is going to tie in to what I just told you today. So sit tight. My dog's going crazy. I got to go. Thanks for watching today, and the little hecticness at the end never hurt anybody. But stay tuned for the next update of the House of Rahab's opening, and we'll continue on the story. All right, thanks, guys. Love y'all so much. Meredith with Tiger Lily Resources, and I am signing off.